What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about the situation that involves DaniLeigh featuring DaBaby and also, I suppose, featuring DaBaby's baby mama, Mimi. So DaniLeigh, she's a singer, dancer, choreographer. I honestly haven't never heard of her until she was linked with DaBaby. That's something interesting to note. But for some reason or another, she decided to release a snippet of a song she has called Yellowbone. Right? And pretty much the snippet was probably like at most 15 seconds, probably less than that. But pretty much it just kept repeating the phrase, Yellowbone is what he wants. What he wants. What he wants. Yellowbone is what he wants. And who is he? I don't know. People are assuming that it's referring to DaBaby, or either just some people are assuming that she's saying that, oh, the men want yellow bones. And by the way, like, is DaniLeigh even considered quote unquote a yellow bone? I would say she's majority non-black. I think she may have like at most a fourth black. But based on how she looks and phenotype, she doesn't really have a black look when you take away the bronzer, the curly hair, that's not naturally curly, the accentuation of her lips, etc. Right? When you take all that, the makeup and hair away, she doesn't look black. And that's okay that she's not black. But if she's in black spaces and portraying herself to be black, so that is a problem. But I'll speak on that kind of like later on in this video. But I just found that to be interesting too, because it's like, well, technically you're not even a yellow bone. And also in the video that she posted, she darkened her skin too. And it's like, well, why did you do that? What made you think that that was a good idea? Like, who was your team, first off? Like, your team should have been like, hey, Danny, this ain't a good idea. Maybe you should try and do something that is not so controversial, at least in this way, that may offend pretty much the people that really only... Because black people, let's be real, black people are the only people that's halfway checking for her. No other group of people are really checking for her like that. I don't see the Latinos checking for her like that, as far as I know. White folk ain't checking for her like that. Asian folk ain't. So black folks are the only people that are really checking for her like that. And also, by the way, I think we can all agree that the song, based on the snippet she posted, is straight up hot garbage. Like, it doesn't even sound good. The lyrics aren't even that thought-provoking or catchy or clever. So, and I see people trying to derail the conversation about colorism based on that fact. Or I won't say it's a fact, but based on that popular opinion that the song is garbage. Like, oh, well, the song is just garbage. The song ain't good. That's the real problem with all this. No. It's not because she released a flop or a snippet of a flop song. That's not really the problem here. Honestly, she can redo the song. And she may end up redoing the song. Honestly, it doesn't even seem like the song was really finished. It could have been, but it doesn't seem like the song was really finished all the way. And also the vocals were like super weak too. Yellow bonus, what he wants. Yellow bonus, what he wants. I'm like, really? That's the best your auto team and sound engineer could do? And I'm not really familiar with DaniLeigh So I don't know if she really does have like amazing vocal talents, amazing performance skills. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. But, you know, she posted a song and it got backlash. And what's more important is her current boo or bae, Nobile, is DaBaby. And he co-signed it. He didn't push back against it at all. He got on his social media and put, I think, like 3 yellow circles, on his Twitter account or IG account or whatever social media platform they were using. DaBaby could have shut that down immediately, but he didn't. He could have just came through and been like, hey, all the sisters are beautiful. I love them. This color, that color over there. I mean, yeah, it could come off as like all skin tones matter, and that can be a bit nauseating. I know, but I can deal with that in this situation, and I can respect that, you know. But that did not happen, and neither did black men as a collective come through and check Danny. And some people gonna come through here and be like, well, it's just not a big deal. It just, the thing is, to the collective of the black men, on social media or what have you, it probably is not a big deal. But notice it was a big deal when B. Simone said that she wants a entrepreneur, not a 9-to-5 guy, right? I mean, that's just one woman's preference, right? That's just one woman's preference. But notice black men spoke up about that when the rapper Sweetie came through and said, if he can't buy you a Birkin, send that dude a Lurkin, right? She got backlash from black men from that too. And again, that's just one biracial woman's opinion. I don't know if B. Simone is biracial. I'll say B. Simone is a light-skinned black woman for now, and Sweetie would be biracial. But that's just one biracial woman's opinion, right? Why is that a big deal? Why couldn't folks just let that slide, right? So folks will speak up when something affects them. Don't get it twisted, right? When they feel compelled to speak, when they feel a hit to their side, they'll speak up, right? Because some folks will try to play it down and be all like, it's a joke, it ain't serious. Oh, we got more important things to worry about. Well, apparently, these black dudes don't seem to have much important things to worry about when it comes to what B. Simone prefers and what Sweetie wants from her men, right? Right. But let's go on to the next part, though. But DaBaby and other black men could have shut this down immediately. Don't forget that. I know we coming after DaniLeigh, and that's a-okay. But we gotta also call out the other folks that aren't saying anything, right? Because if this was police brutality, right, and it was some black man that has some rap sheet longer than the Mississippi River, you know, just got finished beating up his baby mama and then got shot down by the police, we'll be all like, nuh-uh, that black man deserved justice. And then the Mammy Mules will come through and be all like, nuh-uh, y'all ain't have to do that black king like that. That black king deserved due justice and processing. I don't care if he was beating up his baby mama and slapping her around. So what did she do? I bet you she was doing something. Y'all know that's true. Y'all know some woman out there who's willing to co-sign. And that's part of the problem too in situations like this, because there'll be some black women who are trying to call out this stuff and already have to go up against enough backlash as it is just for calling it out. But other black women will join in the backlash against other black women calling it out. For one reason or another, I don't know. Some of these women just wake up. It seems like they just wake up and just be like, how can I be counterproductive today? How can I sabotage black women? You know, it seems like that sometimes. And wasn't it also another important thing to point out here? Wasn't it not too long ago that black women, a segment of black women, I'll say, were celebrating the rapper DaBaby having a brown skinned, dark skinned daughter, a darker skinned daughter and a darker skinned baby mama. Like that's some sort of an achievement or some sort of a accomplishment. Like, I'm like, so this dude is being celebrated for doing something that's really like the bare minimum, by the way. Like, really? Like, oh, he got a darker skinned baby mama and a darker skinned daughter. That's a black king right there. Like, really? The bar is set so low to the point where it's like embarrassing, especially for black women, since seemingly black women are setting the bar, but it can be some influence there, when it comes to the community influencing black women on where to set the bar. I'll acknowledge that. But still, the bar is set really low when it comes to where black women are setting the bar. And I feel like DaBaby and just other black men in general, especially in like the rap industry, then got, DaniLeigh and women like DaniLeigh feeling a much too comfortable. Not even a bit, but really too comfortable. It's like, fall back and know your place within this community, DaniLeigh. That's something important to point out here too. If you coming into other folks' communities and households, whatever you want to call it, you need to know your place and know your rank. Because if this was a black person going into a white community or a white neighborhood or, a white situation or whatever, they're going to make sure to let you know your rank and what you can and cannot do, and let you know that you are a guest and you will act as a guest and you can be removed. Right? But DaniLeigh, because of these dudes gassing her up so much, and some black women, let's be real, she done got a bit too comfortable, and she thinking that she can come at other black women low key, on the low, right? And also, if DaniLeigh was so awesome and amazing, honestly, she wouldn't even be over here. I hate to say it, but she wouldn't be. She probably had better options. She can't go to her own Latino community because she's considered basic. But come over to Blackistan. Oh, Danny, I love your skin. It's so white. I love your hair. It's so straight. Oh my God, you got blonde hair that you got from a bottle. Danny be revving it full throttle. Oh, like, and that's from the women. And of course, the dudes are hyping her up too. So it's like, this is part of what black folks have participated in. And, y'all just invite too many people like Danny to the cookout and just let them run amok. And then when they do something foul, and it's like, well, she black like us. She a black queen too. DaniLeigh, my sister. And then it's the dudes coming through and being like, we all black. We all come from Africa. So do. DaniLeigh, the finest African looking queen I ever done seen. Oh, Miss DaniLeigh make me want to get in touch with my African roots and African ancestry. right? And DaniLeigh also is Dominican, so how is she really familiar with the term yellow bone? You know? So honestly, she probably heard it from some ADOS dude, right? Probably heard it a few times, a few dozen times, from some ADOS dudes, gassing her up and making her feel like she the best thing since sliced pizza, you know. But no, no. Based on the photos that I've seen, I would say like she has photos where it's like, okay, that's good, but then other photos like, okay, what's the big deal? And it's like, you got to kind of catch her at the right moment, you know, you know. And also, DaniLeigh kind of set herself up with this because she more than likely is going to have to eat her words at one point or another, just like Sin Santana. Y'all remember when Sin Santana came through and said, well, they dug up that old interview that she did, and she was saying like, "Oh, black men cater to us Latinas," right? And then look how Joe Budden did her. You know, kicked her to the curb, left her a single mama. All right. So she probably gonna end up getting played by DaBaby. He probably gonna be posting some photos on social media of his next light bright, or either he going back to his baby mama, or even just going on to like um a dark skin or brown skin woman, you know. So you might have to eat those words, Danny, you know. And again, Danny might be so high on colorism that she may end up having a kid with DaBaby, thinking that she gonna be different. It ain't gonna be her. She ain't gonna be like Mimi, but then she gonna end up just like Mimi. Just like how Summer Walker thought it was gonna happen to her, and she was gonna be different, right? You're gonna be out here looking like Iggy Azalea, right? And she also mentioned something about jealousy. Jealousy, 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 jealousy is such an evil thing. And I'm like, well, first, jealous of who and what? And also, you started it. It's not like the black women just came out of nowhere and came at you. You came for them, low key with the song. And some people are speculating that the song may have been directed towards DaBaby's baby mama. And that could be true. But she should have did it in a way that did not include darker skinned black women. And again, what are they jealous of though? Because you with DaBaby? I'm pretty sure there's some mammy pick me mule out there who be like, oh my God, Danny got herself a black cane girl. DaBaby is all that. He is fine, girl. I seen a comment sort of like that actually on YouTube. Like, girl, I would have been just like B. Simone if I saw DaBaby with DaniLeigh. Girl, DaniLeigh got herself a good black cane. I'm pretty sure there's some Manny Pick Me Mule out there just singing like that. I'm sure. Right? And just gassing up DaniLeigh even more. Right? But I don't know. I feel like those women may be in the minority, but who knows? And again, DaniLeigh, you started it. And again, jealous of what and who? you know. And speaking of B. Simone, when she came through and she posted that video, big up in DaniLeigh and other Dominicans and Latinas, while putting down black women, DaniLeigh posted that video on her social media account. And really DaniLeigh could have just came through and been like, oh, don't say that, sister. We both pretty, we both look good, You know, us black women look good in all shades and colors and textures and varieties. Yeah, it would have been, all skin tones matter. But I could, again, I could probably let her slide with that and respect that. But no, she ain't come through with nothing like that. She ain't coming through with that. You know, they ain't coming through with no stuff like that. And really, if you don't believe it, then don't say it. So continue to do that, because I don't want folks coming through and saying stuff that they don't mean and pandering and whatnot. We have enough of that, you know. But DaniLeigh could have just ignored B Simone's video, She could have, but she did not take that option. You know. Also, I think I may have mentioned this earlier in the video, but why did DaniLeigh darken her skin in the video that she posted? Yeah, why? What was that about? That was offensive too. Like, why are you darkening your skin? And really, like, you saying like a yellow bone is what he wants. So what's with the darkening of the skin? I feel like that's kind of sliding under the radar too. You know, And there are some people, some very dumb, simple, lame brain folks who are trying to compare DaniLeigh's song to like Beyonce's song Brown Skin Girl and India Arie's song Brown Skin. And I'm like, are you guys idiots? Are you guys dumb? Are you just willfully being obtuse? It's not the same thing. Let's speak about Beyonce for a minute, and then we'll get to India Arie. But Beyonce, she recently posted the Brown Skin Girl song, and that was great, right? Celebrating and uplifting women of a darker skin tone. Great. Beyonce, by the way, is of a lighter skin tone. So, for one, Ari, the equivalent is like, the equivalent doesn't really match up. Like, the comparison doesn't really match up because Beyonce is light skin uplifting another skin tone, while DaniLeigh is, I guess, uplifting her own skin tone. Right. So right there, we're already through here. But I'll go and continue for you dumb folks. So first, well, I guess second, Beyonce didn't put down any other skin tones or make it seem like, oh, this is the skin tone that he picked, right? This is the skin tone that he wants. And also, like, Beyonce is a part of the community, DaniLeigh, not so much. And there were there were lighter skinned black women and I guess some biracial women who were taking issues with it, with Beyonce's song. And they spoke up and they spoke out. And that's great. If they have an issue with it, they feel like they were slighted by it, by all means, speak your piece, right? Those women spoke their piece about that. Just like the darker skinned women in DaniLeigh's situation are coming through and speaking their piece about it, right? Then folks bringing up India Arie, and some folks want to jump back and analyze her song as if they really even cared about it before this even happened. Let's be real about that too. Beyonce's song, yeah, it was getting some play here and there. But India Arie's song, I don't think as much. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was, folks was checking for it as much until this situation popped off. Then we're like, okay, let's analyze her lyrics. Oh, let's pick apart her lyrics. And she's saying that, oh, brown skin is what he wants, right? And really, I could be wrong, but from what I heard of the song, it seemed like it was kind of like brown skin on brown skin love, pretty much, right? And that's offensive to you, right? The celebration of brown skin and brown skin on brown skin love is offensive to you. So I feel like people just bring that up, are bringing up those things just to intentionally derail and just try and avoid having the conversation about colorism and just how pervasive it is in the community. It really is. Like, I was like, even today, I was like, shopping for birthday cards, and I went to like the mahogany section, and I looked at one of the cards, and I was shopping again for birthday cards, but I ran across a card, and it was like, let me see, it was like, happy anniversary to the only person I love to do nothing with. And it showed a picture of a black man, and he was like brown skin, and it showed a picture of a black woman, or looks to be a black woman, and she's definitely on the lighter side of things, right? Let me see if it can show up on this one, right? You know, so I'm like, isn't this like mahogany though? Wouldn't it make more sense to make both people perhaps brown skin? But again, we know in the black community, that's kind of like pretty much the black community's favorite couple to push. Let's be real. Yeah, they'll push some brown skin on brown skin, dark skin on dark skin love here and there. They will. Um, but you will see kind of like the brown skin, dark skin dude paired up with the light skin mixed chick a lot for some reason. Like both in media and in reality, like in Hollywood for some reason. And of course, people have a right to have their preferences. They sure do. All right. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. And I'll speak on preferences probably at the end of this video, um, which is coming up pretty soon. One more thing I want to show you that I saw when I was shopping for birthday cards. And again, from the mahogany section here, here's a good one for y'all. All right. It says, every girl deserves some chocolate on her birthday. And guess what they have a picture of? Right? And really, the cards that I showed you are just ultimately just reflective of the black community, whether we want to admit it or not. It's just reflective of the reality that we're in. But before I go, I do want to talk about preferences. All right? You know, DaBaby got a right to have a preference. He sure do. You can't be policing black man's preference. Black men don't belong to black women. And then the mammy mules come through and be all like, no, us black women, just because we want black kings don't mean we all deserve black king. We gonna get black king. That black king, he don't belong to you. That black king got options, girl. You can't keep a black king from exploring his options. He got all the right in the world to explore all his options. Just wait for him. He'll come home. But you better not go nowhere, black woman. You better not explore your options. I'm going to be overseeing you. And if I see you exploring your options, I'm going to tell and I'm going to drag you. Right? But seriously, though, speaking of preferences, ultimately, I say that everyone has a right to have a preference, even if it comes from a problematic place. Everyone has a right to have a preference. Okay? It doesn't mean that the preference is right. It doesn't mean that the preference is great. It doesn't mean that it's healthy. It doesn't, it doesn't mean that it is right, healthy, whatever. But it's important to explore where the preferences come from. And I think that people have to be honest, at least with themselves, and kind of like unpack where their preferences come from. And as quiet as it's kept, whether it is darker skinned women, darker skinned men, lighter skinned women, lighter skinned men, folks outside the community, whatever, like preferences are formed by more than just, oh, I like that. Like it's more to it than that, because there's so many different factors that play into influencing a person's preference. You know, Also, like me personally, I just don't have the time or the interest to really be policing someone's preferences. Um, it's just, we can have conversations and discussions and unpack situations, of course, but I wouldn't go on a crusade to try and change someone's preference, preference or whatever. If it's a problematic preference, um, I could just say my spiel and keep it pushing. And I think for Black women, um, I don't think you need to be really invested in trying to change these dudes' preferences. Instead, I think you need to be divesting from these dudes in one way or another, at least when it comes to your money and your support. Like, hey, if they have a preference that is offensive to you and that you find problematic, write them down on your list and just make a list of the folks that you are not going to support and urge others to do the same. You know, um, I hate to say it, but I just have to be truthful, truthful, truthful. Yeah, truthful. I just have to be truthful and say what it is. And the thing is, like colorism and racism, you know, they're not going away anytime soon, unfortunately, unless we just get a divine act of God that comes through. But until that happens, it's not going away anytime soon. So the thing is, you gotta learn how to navigate through these systems, just how Black people have to learn how to navigate through racism. You know, Black folks have to learn how to navigate through the colorism. And by the way, I feel like colorism is kind of like the part of racism or white supremacy that folks really want to hang on to as quiet as it's kept. They really don't want to have honest conversations about, how can we, you know, get rid of this? Folks just take a really passive approach to it, or either just say it's not a big deal, just don't address it at all, you know, and I feel like folks do that just because either they feel like, oh, well, it's not my problem. Oh, well, I may low key benefit from it. Or just, oh, well, it's not a big deal. And folks be feeling kind of weird and uncomfortable when you start bringing it up because they know that they're implicated in it. So they start feeling weird and start trying to jump in and shut the conversation down and say it ain't a big deal. It's just a joke. Let's move on. We got bigger and more important things to do. That's a tactic that people do too, because when you start talking about it more and more, folks start getting really uncomfortable because they know that they're implicated in it in some way, and that they have kind of like colorist leanings and that they're color struck, and you know they don't want to unpack that because that's a lot for them to unpack mentally, that hey, you know I have some unaddressed anti-blackness that I need to deal with. you know um But before I go, I'll say this, and I'll probably get some backlash from saying this, but I'm just gonna say it. This police brutality, I feel like it may low-key be sort of like, you know, God's way of getting rid of the garbage that is in our communities, and at least some of these cases. I'm not saying all, but some of these cases, a lot of these dudes involved in it do be garbage. Hot, steaming garbage. Like folks that should have been expelled from the community a long time ago, but for some reason, we just want to hang on to them and just claim like, oh, it's racist to, you know, um, it's racist and classist to get rid of these folks and to look down on them, even though they be terrorizing the community and doing all types of degeneracy. But that's another video for another day. So I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.